Are you tired of feeling scattered and overwhelmed by your multiple passions? In this video, I will be revealing the exact steps I used and that you can also use to find clarity, unlock your full potential, and finally focus on what truly matters. If you're just coming across my channel for the very first time, my name is Benny and I am a business coach. I help Christians start profitable coaching businesses, either full-time or as a side hustle. First of all, you are not weird. Let's just establish that. You are completely normal. And I completely understand you. I know what it feels like to be a multi-passionate person. You literally can do anything that you put your mind to do. From a very young age, I loved so many different things. So much so that my mom thought that I would thrive as a doctor. My dad, on the other hand, thought that I would thrive as a lawyer. And as you can see, those are two completely unrelated fields. And that is exactly my point. Sometimes all the things that you love to do may not be completely related with each other, and that's okay. See, God created us in His image and likeness. So that means if God can do any and everything, we as human beings have infinite potential and can do anything that we choose to do. However, doing every single thing that you are passionate about is a recipe for mediocrity. But don't worry, I'm going to be sharing with you the most effective template to help you decide what to focus on. And it is called the concept of opportunity cost. So basically, opportunity cost is a concept in economics that business owners use to make informed decisions that maximizes value. You can use it both in business or even in your personal life. So in simple terms, opportunity cost is what you are willing to let go of with the decisions that you make. A lot of people don't realize this, but when you make a choice to focus on something, you are by default also making a choice to not focus on other things. And the goal of opportunity cost is to ensure that you're making the best choice possible, even if you end up losing your other choices. There are three things that matter the most when making a decision following the concept of opportunity cost. Number one, explicit costs. And that is basically what you are obviously losing. So for example, I shared with you guys earlier that my mom thought that I would thrive as a doctor and my dad thought that I would thrive as a lawyer. Now, the explicit cost of me following one over the other means that I clearly lost the other option. So following through with that story, I ended up studying law. And so the explicit cost, the obvious sacrifice that I made was not choosing to be a medical doctor. The second factor in opportunity cost is implicit cost. So there are some things that you may end up sacrificing by making the choices that you make that are more implied. So for example, if I came from a family of doctors and there was just this legacy passed on that everyone were doctors, the implied cost that my choosing to be a lawyer would have led to is that I may not feel like I belong anymore in my family. So it may not necessarily be an obvious sacrifice, but how I feel inside is also a part of the things that I would have to sacrifice with the decisions that I end up making. The third factor that is very important when using this concept of opportunity cost is relative value. What is valuable to you may not be valuable to me. And that is a very important thing to understand and remember, because by making the decision to be a lawyer, it may be that it is more valuable to me to be a lawyer than it is for my mom. So when it comes to making decisions, value is relative. What you may see as important and extremely valuable when making your decision on what to focus on, someone else may not understand it. Someone else may look at that thing that you ended up deciding to focus on and think, that's so foolish. Why did you make that decision? But guess what? The reason they think that way is because value is relative. So now I'm going to be sharing with you the different steps that you can take using the concept of opportunity cost to make that decision as a multi-passionate person on what to focus on. Step 1, identify alternatives. So now I want you to take a pen and a paper, and I want you to write down all the different alternatives, all the different things that you're passionate about, and all the different things that you could possibly do. So for example, when I graduated from law school, with the help of God, I made a decision that I wanted to focus on coaching. I wanted to be a coach. So there are so many different areas that you can coach in. I could be a productivity coach, I could be a life coach, I could be a business coach, I could be a time management coach. There's so many alternatives. I wrote them all down. When you're done writing down all the possible alternatives that you have, the second step is that following the concept of opportunity cost, you will evaluate the benefits and the costs. And this simply means for each alternative that you have, you will compare the benefits that each provides and the cost or the sacrifice that you will make by choosing each one. So on your pen and paper, take each alternative and list the advantages and the disadvantages of following that path. So if I were to do this exercise, the advantages of me becoming a business coach is I'll get to help other people start businesses. As someone who had experiences with starting businesses and failing, I knew the things that do not work. So that would be some of the advantages. I get to help people. On the other hand, the disadvantage with me pursuing the path to become a business coach would mean that I would have to get really good at business. I would have to take courses. I would have to probably go back to school and spend a bunch of money learning business. And I will list out those advantages and disadvantages for every other alternative or every other type of coach that I could possibly become. After you have done that, the third step is that you would have to consider both the long-term impact and the immediate impact of each decision. When deciding on the immediate results, focus on the day-to-day processes that it would be required of you to follow through with that passion. For example, the day-to-day processes required of me is to shoot videos to promote my coaching business, to actually coach people, to come up with programs, and to educate myself so that I can continuously provide solutions to my clients. I enjoy those day-to-day processes. I also enjoy the long-term impact, which is I see myself doing this for a long period of time, decades to come, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So you have to make that decision. Can I live with the day-to-day processes of what following this passion would require of me? And also, can I do this in decades to come? Can I do this for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years without getting tired? In addition to that, when making the decision for the long-term impact of your decision, think of what your long-term goals are. What are you optimizing for in the future? For me, I am optimizing for the fulfillment that I get from helping others fulfill their purpose. That is my long-term goal. And so I am willing to see that goal through to the end for business coaching compared to law or any other type of coaching for that matter. So on your pen and paper, write down the long and short-term impact of the decision to follow each of those options that you have. What I want you to take away from this video is this. When you make a decision, you are basically foregoing the benefits of the other options that you could have gone with. You just have to know within yourself what you are willing to sacrifice, what you are willing to lose. What are you willing to spend the bulk of your time doing? What are you willing to spend your energy on? And how much resources would be required of you to excel in that passion? Choose one that you can commit to wholeheartedly using this framework. If I had chosen to be a medical doctor, that would have been an amazing path. However, it would have required a little more effort than if I had chosen to become a lawyer. In the same way, I chose to become a business coach because that was way more effortless for me than being a lawyer and than any other type of coaching. If you've not yet subscribed, kindly hit that subscribe button, and you can also check out this video right here. See you there.